Just Eff It. Hi, I'm Romy.
Hi, and I'm Carla.
And together we are the
EFF
EFF IT Madres. We are here to invite you guys into stories of some inspiring madres
who have changed their lives through an EFF IT moment. So here we go. Just EFF It.
Hey guys, happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Monday.
Good morning.
Just a few technical difficulties to get my Monday started. I'm in Austin for all of you, and I don't know if it's allergies or like the pollen, but so if I sound sniffly, this is a very common thing for us Austin folks right now, and I feel like it's attacking me. So it's that kind of Monday. That kind of Monday.
Okay. That kind of Monday. All right. Well, Romy, who are we?
We are the EFF IT Madres, and we are two moms that recently said Eff it, and we are currently in our Eff it moment. And for those of you that don't know what an Eff it moment is, it is a moment where as a mother or anybody in this life, but because we're speaking to mothers, we go, fuck it. And we go after something really scary. We try something new. We give up something. We just make a huge change that ultimately did something for our souls, for our journey, and maybe for our family. So we always have some new madre on Monday. And today we have two madres, which is our first time having dos madres. So dos madres. We should actually make that the name of it. Like dos madres.
Those madres.
So super excited about that because this is actually a married couple that I knew right when I became a brand new mama in Long Beach. We lived right around the corner from each other, and we'd always see each other going to the coffee shops. And these two are so inspiring. They just had another baby. I'm really excited to hear their Eff it moment together. And I've watched their journey of just going through school and back to school and having their babies and creating their family. And they are just two badass like parents who really never gave up on like their goals. So I'm excited to talk to them.
All right. And what are their names?
Okay. So we're going to have Emily and her partner on today. We're here. We have Emily and Yazz, and these are our dos madres. And we are so excited that you guys are here.
We are so excited to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for being here. So we're going to just jump right on in because mamas don't have a lot of time to listen to this. So, okay. So Emily and Yazz. When did you guys decide to just Eff it and why?
You know, I would say 2017. We had a 2-year-old son at the time, and I was working full-time at this construction company. So I was gone, 60 hours a week?
Yeah, and I was a stay-at-home. So I was just with baby all day, every day. I was doing tarot readings out of the house just to like get myself like, talking to people and like, having people over. But essentially like 2017, we were both sort of over it. We were both sort of looking for something more and feeling like kind of stuck in where we were.
We were living in Long Beach at the time in this really small 1-bedroom apartment.
I got to chime in because I was living right down the street from you guys in another little tiny apartment, and I would see you guys and the baby walking by. So I love
like neighbors.
We lived like in the alley next to your alley.
So you guys decided at the same time in 2017 to change or to go back to school, and you had a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. And we were both high school dropouts, actually. So neither of us knew how to do school. We both had sort of gone through a lot in our teenage years and then ended up together in our early 20s and had a kid. And we were both like, in our early 20s and like, I need to do something else. So
we also like at the time, neither of our parents were really supportive since we were both queer and gay. And so we didn't have any family support. So we were living in a small 1-bedroom apartment. We had a lot of friends and friend family support, but not immediate family. And so we were looking, at that time, Long Beach prices were going up and up. And I was just like, how am I going to afford a 2-bedroom? How are we going to move on with our lives? We're kind of bored with it. And
one day we were just like, fuck it. Like, let's just, put everything we have into going to community college and see where it takes us. And so we both just started small, taking a couple of classes at Long Beach City College. And one of us would just trade off with our son. So I'd be in classes, she'd be with him, and then we'd trade.
I think I had classes Monday, Wednesday all day, and Emily had classes Tuesday and Thursday all day.
I want to jump in with that because I just want to say, like, I can't even imagine. I know what it was like to be a stay-at-home mom with a brand new baby, trying to figure that out just solo. And, my partner being gone all the time. And I know, like, taking on a job and like school, and that's already scary for you guys because it's not something you were familiar with to begin with. And I understand that as well. I was never good at school. I just recently went back. It's terrifying. You don't know what you're doing, So you guys are taking on that challenge. It's totally new on top of being parents. That's completely new.
Yeah.
Honestly, we were terrified about doing school with a kid.
Scared.
And I think that honestly, for me, school in parenthood has been easier in a way. I feel like I have the drive to really like do well in school. I'm very responsible now. I know how to like, sort of like make schedules and, and keep my promises and do my things. And I think that parenthood really sort of allowed me to be a good student.
I can connect to that. I just want to say, like, I recently, like I said, I'm in coaching school with Carla, and it's because of being a mother that I feel like I'm able to study and focus the way that I am now that I could not have done prior to motherhood.
Oh yeah.
100%.
I had the hardest time studying. I mean, I got mostly Fs in high school, and I'm a straight A student in university. But I didn't really see school as like a big purpose. I didn't have a big push. But now when I'm writing an essay all night and my son's asleep next to me, I'm like, oh, this is why I'm doing it. And it gets me excited. It pushes me to work as hard as I can. And I have this mentality now to say yes to everything. So at university, we say yes to all of the projects, and we're both published speakers and research.
So we started out at Long Beach City College in 2017, just taking a few classes. Within that first semester, I became a tutor for the course that I was in. So I started working for the course, and then we both started tutoring at Long Beach City College and got certified as tutors. And then we both were like, let's transfer, but where do we want to transfer? And one of our friends was like, hey, I go to Berkeley and I get free housing. And I get Berkeley to pay for everything. And we were like, I need that. Like, we need that for us, because we were so tired of living in a tiny apartment in Long Beach. And we were so ready for something more. And so we were like, all right, let's try for Berkeley. And so we applied to a bunch of schools. We got into 13 schools together.
Unbelievable.
It's really funny because when we met, neither one of us were doing school. I was a gutter punk kid who really wanted my band to make it, and Emily was doing magazine stuff, and we had no clue how we would both do in school individually, let alone together. And it's always a risk to do it together, because if we got really nervous of what if Emily got into Berkeley and I didn't, or we have to get in all of the schools at the same time in the same region area. And yeah,
it worked out.
we both graduated top 25 people at LBCC, so we were like together.
Wow. Oh my God. So you were like not school people, dropout, straight Fs, and then you both got into UC Berkeley.
Yeah.
Yes.
Holy shit.
And
congratulations.
From Berkeley.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Congratulations. That is a hard school to get into. Yeah. I applied. I didn't get in. I went to UCLA, but I wanted to go to Berkeley. That's awesome.
Yeah.
My God.
What a huge they pay for our house. Like, let me just tell you that, like, since this podcast is all about like moms, like, let me just tell you that Berkeley is incredible to student parents.
Wow.
If anyone out there is like looking to transfer, looking to, go to school, like look into Berkeley.
Yeah.
Because Berkeley has family housing. Berkeley gives student parent grants. So we get 10 grand a year from Berkeley just because we're parents.
Wow.
That's amazing.
$100,000 a year just to be students. So we don't have to have jobs. We can just focus on work. And it's been really amazing because we want to make this change in a way to be better parents and be better ourselves. And being at Berkeley, I've been able, like, I'm my son's soccer coach, and able to be with my son all of the time because I don't have to work right now. I'm in school. They pay for everything. So I just need to take my classes and hang out with my kiddo. His elementary school is a 1-minute walk from the family housing. And it's just amazing.
Yeah. Life has just
amazing.
been it's because we sort of said fuck it in 2017. All of these things have happened for us that we never thought were possible. Yeah. Berkeley has always been my dream, and I never thought that I would get in, and I got in with a full ride, and I got in with my wife, and it's just been
and with a child, and this is exactly why I wanted you guys on here. Like, Carla, do you see? I was like following you guys, and I knew, but I was like, you talk about an epic moment when us as parents are like, fuck, we have a kid, like, now our dreams are done. We can't do these things. Like, we're stuck in this. And then you hear these stories like you guys, and they're so fucking inspiring, because anyone listening, if you need to go back to school, if you wanted to finish school, if you have a different career path, there are ways. And if you look and you say, fuck it, and you find those ways, you two are an example that if there's a will, there's a way. You guys found it, and you're making it work.
Thank you.
Also, and I'm not saying that a lot of people do this, but I'm sure there are people they use their children as an excuse to not do those things or go after those things. And you guys didn't let that be the case. If anything, it fueled you, and look where you guys are. So that's amazing. Super inspiring. Oh my God. Well done.
And because of all of this and living in, moving up, I guess, in life, it's built our confidence. I feel like it's made us better parents, and it inspired us to have another kid.
You guys are crazy. You guys are like, we're going to add a kid to this whole mix.
Yeah. He was born 12/12/22.
Let me tell you, I turned in my final here at Berkeley. I went into labor just a couple hours later and gave birth during finals week.
And Emily kept telling me I should do my finals a little bit early because he can be born at any point. But I still like to procrastinate. So I finished 2 essays in French. I learned French at Berkeley. They were both like 8-page essays with the little baby in my arms in the hospital. So I do advise not to procrastinate if your wife is pregnant. But it was great. It was really fun.
Oh my God. I can't even right now.
I sent in the papers with a picture of me holding my brand new son. So
yeah, she was like, here's a picture of my baby that I just had while writing this.
Oh, wow.
You guys are so inspiring. And like, you basically went into the next question. So I don't, when it comes to like, what did you do about it when you had that epic moment? It sounds like to me, moving into the next one, that you guys said, fuck it. We're going to school. We can do this. We're going to find a way. And you did it. So you had that epic moment to go back to school. You challenged yourself as parents. And by becoming parents, it really fueled you to be able to do this stuff, which I connect with so much. I feel like parenthood and motherhood, and Carla and I talk about this all the time on the podcast. Like, you have those epic moments so much as mothers when you're like, fuck, now what? Like, what's next? Now, you know what I mean? Like, now what? And you guys did it. I mean, that's what you did about it. I would go into the next question then, Carla.
Yeah, I mean, how did all of this and accomplishing this make you feel? Or even when you said F it, like, how did that moment, and they touched on it too, like it was very terrifying and everything, but like just a little bit more in depth about how you were, all those emotions that were going through your mind at that point when you made that decision.
Yeah, well, I think for us, we both had sort of a loaded, I think that like school was very loaded for both of us, because I was a high school dropout because I got sent away in high school. And Yazz was a high school dropout because she got expelled. And so we both were sort of like so terrified about what would this look like for us, first of all, and also what will it look like as parents and having to juggle, having a kid and doing classes. And for us, we just sort of felt like, let's just take a couple of classes that we ourselves are interested in. I'm not going to start out with like general ed, which I think a lot of people do. Start out with like a scary class or something, right? Like a math class. Like, yeah, did you do that? I don't remember.
I started with English, math, and science.
Okay, I didn't do that. I started out with a class called Magic, Witchcraft, and Religion.
Oh.
And I ended up loving it. That's the class that I tutored for actually a couple of years. And so I think like we both sort of just like she jumped in full force. I was like, I'm going to test the waters, try something out. And we both just ended up falling in love. And, it was scary. It was hard at times to juggle that, for sure. But we used the resources at the college as much as we could. And I think that anyone who's, thinking about going back to school, use the resources at the community college or the university that you're at. Because, I mean, at least at Long Beach City College, they had a preschool. Our son went there for free. It's one of the best in LA County.
It was amazing.
And we were given a ton of help financially, and
we had financial aid.
Yeah.
So what did it, when you're on this, then what did it do for your family doing this? Like, how did it make you guys stronger? Did it not? Like, what did it do for you guys as a family unit?
I think it made us a lot stronger.
I think before we did that jump, it was really, really terrifying. So right before Emily and I met, like a year or two before, I was homeless. I struggled with addiction and all of that. And since then, I've been clean and sober for 13 years and stable, which has been amazing. But there was a huge fear of, I was working 60 hours a week to support this family, but I got paid, I think, $12 an hour. So we were barely making it. And I've always had this fear of, what if I can't support the family and we all become homeless? Because if it's just me, I can handle it. But I don't ever want my son to have to feel the things I've had to go through. But really what had happened when we all decided, everything we decide, we talk to our kids about. Well, kids now. At the time, it was just one. And River was 2.5, and he was totally excited because he didn't understand what we were telling him. But I think because we did it as a family, it just made us stronger as a family. So instead of just one of us going back to school, we had the EFF IT moment as a family. So we all did the jump. And when it's not just one person, I feel like it's less scary. I have the support of my child, I have the support of my wife.
And I think that Yazz and I, our relationship got a lot stronger because we were really working on communication and really, figuring out how to make our schedules work together as a family. It's not like it's not just you doing your thing. And it's not like how it was when she was working, where like she would work and leave all day and I'd be at home all day. We had like separate lives. It was like our lives were even more intermingled, and we ended up taking classes together and loved doing that. We had so much fun.
We took one class every semester together. That was our thing.
And it was really romantic. Like we got even more close. and we just I think we fell more in love doing it together.
I love this so much. We've had stories on here, and this is so new for us, Carla, right? But as a unit, I love that you guys touched base on, as a family, you had a fuck it moment. So you guys were all in this together. A lot of times we hear from a mother, which is fine, where the mother had it and she's getting her family on board with her. They're supportive of her moment. But you guys are the first family that we've had on that, as a unit, did it together. And how beautiful that in your EFF IT moment, you found ways to still date each other and be together, as opposed to that could pretty much separate a couple. If one is going back to college and there's a baby, I mean, that is something that would easily cause a marriage to possibly go to shambles because there's no time for one another. But you guys prioritized your family and you prioritized your fuck it moment. And it's so fucking inspiring.
It really, really is. I'm curious. So when you guys just graduated, what are your plans now that you've graduated? And that will lead into my next question.
Yeah. So I got into a few law schools, and I just decided that I'm going to go to law school in San Francisco at UC Law SF, where our Vice President Kamala Harris went. I'm really excited. So I started in fall,
and I'm still at Berkeley. One of the amazing things, one of the reasons we chose Berkeley is because as a mother, they really support me. So I'm actually able to take only 6 units a semester, and they consider me full-time.
Wow.
So they still give me the exact same amount of money. So I take only 6 units, which is about a class and a half. And I'm just taking my time going through it. Yazz went a lot faster because she just chose to. So I still have 2 years left here at Berkeley for my undergrad. And then I plan to apply for master's and PhD programs at Berkeley.
Wow.
I need to just
Oh my God.
restate that this was like, and I can relate to this so much, but you guys are so inspiring. I also was sent away in high school, dropped off in the boonies, like people were chasing me down, couldn't graduate. Finally was
Oh
put
my
in
God.
like the school that I didn't want to graduate from to graduate, and really struggled with school. Hearing you guys is so inspiring for me. Because you get this story. So anyone listening that told themselves like, I wasn't good at something, I can't do this. Like I was always dumb, or I was always not capable. That's the story I told myself, by the way. And
Yeah.
hearing you guys go from failing out of school, struggling through addiction, being homeless, to, hey, me and my family with my 2 children, I'm off to law school where like the vice president went. Like, are you fucking kidding me? It doesn't get more inspiring, because these are real stories. And when you take yourself out of the excuses and the story that you've been telling yourself, and you rewrite your story, or you change that direction, look what can happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think for me, it's been such a healing experience in so many ways. I think like my confidence is so much higher now. I think I was so afraid. And I always felt unsure about kind of who I was. And I think that going to school has sort of allowed me to figure out so much more about myself.
Yeah.
Now I know what I like, what I'm good at, and I've enjoyed every second of it, honestly. I'm so happy. And I think both of us sort of struggled a lot before we went back to school, because we were always sort of had this tension of, I don't know what we should do. I don't know what we want. I don't know, what our future is going to be. And now our future feels so much more clear as a family and personally. And so it's made us just so much happier and more at peace and ease with each other, I think.
I feel like just taking that first, like, fuck it moment, like, we're just going to do this. It's terrifying. Everything can fall apart and go to like shambles,
Yeah.
but we're just going to do it, has really helped me, because like once I came to Berkeley, I decided to major in comparative literature, which I have to learn multiple languages and study literature in different languages. And I'm terrified of learning language because I have a speech impediment. So learning English was really hard. And I did it, and I was just like, oh, I guess like, fuck it, let's just do that. And then,
Yeah.
Don't you think once you have those fuck it moments, we've said this before, Carla, you start to have more. You get comfortable with them.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck it, and then you're like, well, fuck this and fuck that. And you just start saying fuck it to more things.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know that I am going to be okay on the other side. Right. After that first one, a lot of that fear sort of dissolves. And that's been my experience, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, that saying goes, like, when there is a will, which there was, there's a way. I'm curious for where you guys are out now currently. Do you have any fears that come up for you now that you are, you're going to be going to San Francisco, you're still here in Berkeley? Like, what fears come up for you? And also the second leg to that question is, how do you stay moving forward in this EFF IT momentum and not letting your fears hold you back?
I think honestly, a lot of it just trying to stay present. It's that fun mixture of fucking, I'm going to do this / I need to stay present in the moment with what I'm doing today and not worry too much about the future. Just put one foot in front of the other. There is a fear of, I'm very hands-on with my kiddo. No,
hands-on.
Like I love my kid. Like we play all of the time. Like we play soccer, we play games. I'm always outside with him, and he doesn't like me gone. So I know that he's not going to like me at school a lot for like the first year of law.
Yeah. I think what's nerve-wracking is sort of doing that fuck it again. It's almost like the first time where we, just sort of jumped into this completely new thing and had to figure out our schedules. And we're going to have to do that again this fall when she goes back, because she's going to be in law school in San Francisco. We live in Berkeley. And so I'm going to be here in Berkeley with with our baby, who's 3 months old right now. He'll be under a year when she goes to law school. And I'm going to have to sort of figure out me going to Berkeley and having him while she is like full-time law, first year law student. And so I think I'm nervous about that for sure. I'm terrified of how we're going to make that work with our schedules, because we don't really want to have to get care outside of the two of us. We really try to keep it one of us as much as possible. So I think that, yeah, we're both sort of having to stay present with each other and sort of remind ourselves that, like, we've done this before. We can work through this again. It was terrifying then. Now we sort of are more stable and more, secure in our lives and our relationship, and we can figure it out again.
I mean, you guys
Wow.
are just not only like on a school level goal and a fuck it goal and a mother goal, but just even in a relationship, what a goal to be able to communicate and go through life and what these types of journeys together, because that's really beautiful, and couples really struggle with children and then careers and then their dreams. And so we find so many moms that are in those effort moments because they've been lost in those. And you guys really are in this together. And that's just such a new, refreshing story to hear. My question would be to anybody listening, which it sounds like you guys have, but really anyone listening that you want to speak to, what would you tell them to do in those moments?
Jump. just jump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes too, as like a mom, it's hard to say, hey, I need to put myself first to take care of my child. And sometimes it feels selfish when it's like, oh, I want to do this for me. But then I don't know, I like to remind myself that every action I do for myself is to better myself for my family. And it doesn't even have to do with school, but if someone out there wants to go to school, I know that my kid looks at me studying every night, and hopefully that's going to inspire him to go to college if he chooses. No pressure. Berkeley, though, would be great for him. But, so like everything we do as moms or parents is for our children.
I think all of us just went quiet for a minute and was like, yeah, because all of this, I know that all of us feel that way. Carla and I feel the same way. That's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why so many moms have come on here. I think there's this huge moment of like, not the way some of us were raised, maybe not the way we saw our families. I know that for us, but when we start being moms, parents that put ourselves first in selfish ways, we ultimately are better for our children.
Absolutely.
I mean, and for our partners and
Yeah.
everyone around us too. Like it really does make an impact overall.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Like the happier I am and the more sort of healthy I am, then, the better my relationship is, the better my relationship with my children is. And I think I really learned that when I was a stay-at-home mom. It was, it wasn't really right for me. I did that. I loved being at home with him, but, for me, I think like getting some space and taking care of me was sort of so beneficial that now I know, like, I want to be in classes and have my 2-month-old in my arms because I like doing my classes. It helps me stay healthy. It helps me do something for me. And I think that, yeah, that's something that's been so magical about this whole experience is sort of figuring out that balance and learning more about myself and keeping myself like healthy and present.
I think it's so nice to kind of fall in love with yourself again, right? As like a new person, like you become someone new when you become a parent. And sometimes we look at ourselves and we don't know who that is that we're looking at anymore. And then to go through those exploring times of just falling in love with yourself again, even though you're supposed to just be falling in love with your child, I think it makes it really special for everybody. And I'm just so amazed by your guys' story. It's so inspiring. I'm so grateful that you both would share this because this is exactly what we're like so intrigued and motivated and like pushed by, right, Carla? Like this is exactly
Oh yeah.
an epic moment.
I was like, you guys should write a book or like go talk about this because this is a really, there's not a lot of people that have this as partners at the same time. So this is a very special thing that you guys are doing and have accomplished and are achieving.
Yeah, you guys should be like speaking at schools and speaking to the youth and those kids on the street. Like you guys have a whole, I mean, that's just me and my business brain being like, I see it, guys. I see the whole path, but it's just so inspiring. Is there anywhere that that you guys are working on or that you want people to follow? Or if it's not you guys, where could people go to that you would suggest as moms that are trying to go back to school? Where are some areas you could shout out?
Yeah, I think like your local community college.
Yeah.
That's what really got us going, was just learning what resources we had at our local community college and sort of making a community there. And then, yeah, I mean, we both work on journals here at Berkeley and everything else. But
when we were applying to universities, we applied all around the country. We really looked at schools that had student parent centers or student parent resources in any way. Berkeley has one of the best, but a lot of schools all over the country have student parent resources. So I suggest looking at universities, typing in the university and student parent resources and seeing what they have, because Berkeley has such a great resource and program, there's a ton of student parents that we got to meet and get involved with. And now we have this amazing community. So schools and universities that offer that will also offer a nice community. I suggest looking at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if anyone ever wanted to reach out to me, I am always happy to talk about, resources and how to sort of take that first jump, what we did to prepare for that jump.
Emily, will you share your Instagram? So if anyone is on here or listens and wants to reach out to you guys, are you open to them?
Yeah.
Okay.
My Instagram is EM3Sunflower. Hit me up. I would love to talk about resources and any other, questions about, going back to school, or of course, having a queer parent community as well.
Yeah. And I think that's what this is about, finding other mothers that are in your shoes or hearing that, because sometimes you can feel so alone. So even if one person's listening to this and they are looking for any of this type of guidance, this is why our voices and our stories help, because it just takes one story that we go, oh, okay, there's someone I can talk to,
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, well, we are so grateful that you guys came on. Thank you so much.
So grateful.
Yeah.
I mean, so inspirational. I have to stop bitching.
Yeah, Carla, we cannot bitch anymore.
Yeah, no reason to bitch anymore.
It's been so long since we've seen you, Romy.
I know. I just want you guys to know, seriously, I follow you. I saw when I was reaching out to certain moms to come on, you guys were there when I was just becoming a mama. I was there with you guys. You were walking all the babies around the neighborhood, and none of us had $1, to our name, but we're trying to figure out how to be parents. And I was stay-at-home mom so that he could work. It's such a balance, and to see where we've all come, it's so amazing and inspiring. And I'm just so proud of you guys. Awesome. And I love following you. I'm so grateful that you responded with open to share this. So we're all going to say, just F it.
Just F it.